All right, so let's do some examples of just one-steppers here. This thing will cooperate. All right. So using the addition property of an inequality, we're going to find all the solutions to the following inequality and graph it. Just one step, add 15 to each side. So x is greater than 3. That greater than symbol implies an open circle. We're only looking for solutions that are strictly greater than 3. So we place an open circle at 3 because there's no line underneath this. This is the greater than symbol. And then we shade to the right of 3. So you will be asked to perhaps check. It doesn't hurt to think about, well, what's a good number to check in here? If I've done this correctly, I could try 4. That's probably the lowest, next lowest whole number. Try 4 in here. 4 minus 15. Is that greater than negative 12? Yeah, negative 11 is greater than negative 12. So it checks out. We've got it. Why don't you guys try the next one on your own, see if you can solve it and quickly graph it, and then we'll check our solutions. So hopefully you got n is less than 2. The graph looks like that. It's a one-stepper with the graph. Problem 2 says, what are the solutions of the inequality? We're going to graph and check the solutions. So here I'm going to add 3 to each side first. So it says 13 is greater than or equal to x. I would write it as x less than or equal to 13. Get that x on the left side. For these problems, I've given you a generic number line. I would just place 13 somewhere on this number line. Okay, maybe towards the middle. So maybe somewhere towards the middle, place 13 on there. And then we have a filled in circle at 13. Sorry, I'll go a little slower. So a filled in circle at 13. And then if you've written the letter on the left, this inequality points in the direction in which you should shade. So this reads x is less than or equal to 13. So one value that I could use to check my solution would be, say for example, 12. Try 12 in there. You don't want to try 13 because it's a less than or equal to. You want to try something other than 13. So if I try maybe 12 in here. So we have 10 greater than or equal to, we're going to put 12 in, minus 3, 10 greater than or equal to 9. Is that true? That's true, so we've shaded in the correct direction. If for some reason that didn't work, we would need to go and shade in the other direction. So why don't you try the next one on here. Solution you get. So in this case, my solution is m is greater than or equal to 9. So place whatever solution you get just in the middle of the number line, and then we're going to shade to the right this time. So m is greater than or equal to 9. Alright, so this is just using the subtraction property as opposed to addition. So here I'd subtract 6 from each side. So I have x is greater than negative 10. Place negative 10 somewhere in the middle here. Open circle. That's a negative 10 somewhere in there. So we're just going to kind of picture that you're right at negative 10. If you need to, you could put some other values here. Negative 9 would be there. Negative 11 would be there, just to give it some perspective. Well, maybe let's make that negative sign a little smaller. And then shade to the right. So x is greater than negative 10. And then this one, when we have the y on the right, I would encourage you just to just to move it around here, just to be consistent. If we flip it around so that its y is less than or equal to negative 13, I think that might make it easier. Place the negative 13 right here. Negative 13 with a closed circle right there. And then we go to the left. All right, any questions on that? So I subtracted 12 from each side, and then I put the letter on the left, but I still have it pointing at the letter. So it says y is less than or equal to negative 13. All of our definitions of those 4 different inequalities were with the variable on the left. And then it acts like an arrow. It points in that direction. So we shade that. All right, the hard drive on your computer has a capacity of 120. That means this is another way of saying at most or less than or equal to. So the word capacity means that's at most what it could hold, or it has to be less than or equal to 120 gigabytes. So I would just write the symbol less than or equal to 120. We're going to set up an inequality, write an inequality, and then solve it to answer the question. So it has to be less than or equal to 120. Now we've used 85 gigabytes. So we have a plus 85. The question is, how many gigabytes do we have left? In other words, what are the possible sizes of the video collection you can save? This one you could probably do it in your head. So the difference between those two. But here's our inequality. When we solve it, we subtract 85 from each side. So we get x is less than or equal to 35 gigabytes. So we could have anywhere from, it has to be bigger than 0 gigabytes, but anywhere up to 35, up to and including. So $35 gigabytes. Otherwise, it's going to tell you that you just don't have room, not the space. So possible sizes of video collection would be up to and including 35 gigabytes. All right, it says a club has a goal to sell at least 25 plants for a fundraiser. So what does that mean? At least 25.
25 is the smallest.
That's the smallest. So your symbol has to be which one?
Greater than or equal to.
Yeah, greater than. Let's write that down. Greater than or equal to. So greater than or equal to 25. And so far, they sold 8 plants on Monday or Wednesday, 9 plants on Thursday, and they're going to try and sell a certain number of plants here on Friday to meet their goal. If you wanted to, you could combine the Wednesday and Thursday sales together. And you would have x plus 17 has to be greater than or equal to 25. So the question is, what do they have to sell on Friday to meet their goal? So if we solve this inequality, we have x is greater than or equal to 8. So what that means is they must sell at least 8 plants on Friday. So they must sell at least 8 plants on Friday to meet their goal. So can you use the same inequality symbol to represent at least, no less than, and greater than or equal to? It is. Which symbol is it? Yeah, it's the one we just used, the greater than or equal to sign. So that's it.